You can tell me if our idea on how to handle the quarterback situation this week is a good idea or kind of a crazy one.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It is Florida State week. I know we've been talking so much about Miami's problems. We haven't focused that much on what's coming for us in Tallahassee this week, but we still have a lot more episodes to come. I am Alex Donno, your host. I'm a University of Miami alumnus, longtime South Florida sports radio vet, and contributor to allhurricanes.com. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We are available free wherever you get your podcasts and available free on YouTube. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, LOCKEDONCollege, for $20 off your first purchase. And it's a Truth Teller Tuesday.
All right.
We even tried to figure out a way to bring Truth Teller Tuesday maybe on a Monday, but we decided to stick with our guns on Truth Teller Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Bruce Warner, tell me what you think about my plan at quarterback this week, okay? Because I've already ruled out the idea. I don't know if Mario has, but I've ruled out the idea of starting Tyler Van Dyke again. I think you have to turn the page. He has completely lost his confidence, and he's become too much of a liability. It's not fair to that defense when they're playing their butts off and the quarterback is turning it over 3-4 times a game. You can't go back to Van Dyke. So I would like to see Emory Williams start the game and manage the game. But I would like to see a quarterback collaboration this week, Bruce. I'd like to see Emory Williams as the primary quarterback, but I'd also like to use Jacurri Brown the way that North Carolina State used Brennan Armstrong last week. Give Florida State more to think about. Give Florida State more to adapt to on the field. Use Jacurri Brown in some short yardage, wildcat, red zone stuff, and throw the kitchen sink at those guys. What do you think?
You're asking me what I think on a 30-minute show when Mario hasn't done a damn thing to correct it in the last 4 weeks. I like your idea. I would do that. They started against Clemson, the kid. They obviously restricted him, which was fine. It worked out okay. He didn't make a lot of big mistakes. So I agree with you. I would start Emory Williams, and next week there's Louisville, which is a home game, and then he has to go to Boston College. I kind of think that unless he gets hurt, Van Dyke is probably done. If Mario starts Van Dyke, he's going to have the shortest leash of all time, I think. Yeah. One mistake and it's goodbye. So, but I don't know if he's going to name anybody until the end of the week because I just don't want him. I don't think he wants to tip off Florida State. Not that it might matter. It might not matter. We still may get obliterated. There's also a possibility that those two receivers for FSU might not play again.
Right.
We don't know that, but that's swirling around. I think that it's more than just who's a quarterback. The play calling has been abysmal.
Yes.
And I saw the show with Bluestein, and he said there's 4 plays. Yeah, they're running up the gut. They're not getting the ball to the outside at all. Those little screens that he throws, they get blown up. And to me, I don't know what's missing, but I know that we've talked about the tight ends. The lack of a tight end who can actually catch the damn ball is killing us.
And unfortunately,
he dropped both of them.
Yeah, and exactly. The more and more we actually see the tight end production, it makes me understand like maybe that's not so much on coaching, that's more on those guys. And I think Riley Williams is going to be great. He's showing you the true freshman stuff. Like I think he's gonna be a great player at some point. I just think for him, it's like on the job training.
Of course, all these guys it is. Some of them are better than others, like Dane. But and the other thing would be is that Van Dyke's making these mistakes. I don't think this kid is going to throw into double and triple coverage. I noticed that Restrepo was hardly targeted last week. Yeah. So what's the
twice, I think.
Yeah. What's the excuse? Yeah. Because he wasn't locking in on him. So he still didn't play well without locking in on his roommate.
Yeah.
So he has to have some sort of psychological issues that he's just not in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
And he's panicking, and he's not even stepping into his throws. All the things that happened bad last year, but this year he's got protection. They got to help him out, though. But I don't think he's going to start. I think they're going to have to do what they did against Clemson and hope to keep the game close.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see it. And then he's going to, this time around, look, Jordan Travis is really good. Is he a pro? I don't know. I'm not a scout, but he's really good. And he makes something out of nothing, which none of our quarterbacks can do except maybe Jacurri Brown. But he's not a pure passer. He's not a passer. So, you know what would be a fun thing to see? Put Jacurri in on a 3rd and short and play action and let him throw deep. I would bet that the safeties on Florida State come up, they bite on the play fake to stop the run because they're very aggressive. You're going to have to do a lot of things, misdirection, make them go one way and go the other way. They're like Miami used to be, overly aggressive on defense and take advantage of that. And shorten the game by running the ball. I think everybody's healthy now. I think Allen's healthy. Parrish, obviously Fletcher. I'd still put Chris Johnson in the game as a change of pace, which they haven't. I said that last week. They didn't do it.
Well, and the other thing is like Chris Johnson, you can, if you're worried about him as a pass blocker at the running back position, you can line him up in the slot. You can line him up out wide. He played a lot of receiver in high school. So he and Brashard Smith both, and I know Brashard was, he was frustrated about only getting 1 touch in the game, and it was on a kick return.
Right.
He and Chris Johnson, they need to get both of those guys involved this week, right?
Because they have speed.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Fletcher, but he's not fast. You made the comment last week that Allen, after he jumped over the guy, could have gone 80 yards, but he couldn't because he got tackled around the 1 yard line when he fell into the end. So that would not have been an 80-yard run.
Okay,
but still, but he's a wiggler. He could get out of tackles. He's tough. I don't know. I'm not an offensive coordinator either, but I know that Florida State's going to jam that line of scrimmage, try to take away our running game, and make us throw the ball. I would do that if I was them.
And that's exactly what they're going to do, Bruce, because on paper, Florida State has an average rushing defense. They're 57th in the country against the run. So I know a Miami fan looks at that and says, okay, well, we got this great offensive line, really good running back group, so we should be able to run on these guys. The problem is, since we can't throw, they're going to stack the box, right? So they're going to. So if Miami can't throw the football, don't expect us to run for 150 yards just because they're going to be stacking the box, and we have to complete some passes downfield to open up the running game.
Yep, that's right, and I agree with that. They've got to take shots down the field and at least get these safeties to stay back, and then you can throw underneath, do something. But not having a talent like Arroyo at full strength hurts this team badly because that's a weapon that he's only going to have one guy covering him. That's an advantage, but it's not an advantage when he's limping around. Yeah. And obviously, Riley Williams is just struggling to catch the ball, but it's not an easy task to go up there. They're the top 4 team in the nation. They have talent. They have senior leadership. They're damn good. And meanwhile, Miami's struggling like crazy. And that's the part that scares me the most. Yeah. We have a lot of talent. Yeah. You would have thought that the quarterback would be the position that we could rely on, but it's not the case. So you got to do something. Fortunately, Emory Williams has played 4 times. So he has his feet wet. And I would start him. And I would not let Van Dyke play. Just go with him and Jacurri Brown unless somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, and listen, and they don't seem, obviously the next snap that Emory takes, it's going to burn his red shirt. They don't seem overly concerned about doing that. I think he's willing to burn the red shirt. And let's also remember next year, they might bring in a veteran starter from the transfer portal, and they could still redshirt Emory Williams next year the way that they are redshirting Jacurri Brown in his second year. And as far as Jacurri goes, I know he wanted to redshirt this year. Guess what? He could play in all the rest of your games and not burn that red. Like he's already secured the red shirt for this year. You got 3 more regular season games left, a bowl game. He can play in all of those without burning the shirt.
I disagree with bringing somebody from the portal. I agree with that. Yeah. But you got a kid who we saw against Clemson who handled himself very well.
Yeah.
And I would let him play these last 3 games and the bowl game. The shirt is burned. And what do they play? Florida next year in the first game?
Yep.
You kind of have to think ahead. You just can't look at where you're at now.
True.
So if they're going to start him next year, which my gut tells me he's going to be the starter, let him play. Let him play. If you bring in a portal guy who beats him out, so be it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd redshirt that kid anymore. I have to sit out an entire year. He could lose whatever edge he's got because he's playing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I wouldn't do that. I would let him play now. And I'm pretty sure that I think I'm positive that Van Dyke's not getting drafted. I think I'm positive.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably a safe assumption right now. Yeah.
He can transfer. He's not going to Bama because the Milroe kid is doing okay now. So
yeah.
I think he may be SMU, but it's not my problem. It's just how the hell did he get this bad is beyond me. So an offensive line, it's the best we've had in years.
And he's got more time to throw than ever. We'll talk a little bit more about what Mario Cristobal said and didn't say about the quarterback situation. And sometimes what you don't say is more telling than what you do say, folks. And
doesn't matter what he says. He's been saying a lot of things for the first 9 games, and I don't know. I don't want to do your commercial, but I'm just saying I don't care what he says anymore. I want to see it.
Well, that's why I say sometimes what you don't say in terms of coach speak is more valuable than what you do say. We'll talk about the injury situation heading into this week as well. We are only getting started here on a Truth Teller Tuesday. Bruce Warner is with us on this all-new episode of Locked On Canes. Guys, we are only getting started on FanDuel. I hope you're enjoying this football season. You can score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time than right now to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen today on a Truth Teller Tuesday. Guys, it's kind of almost Friday, right? We're getting closer to Friday. We got Locked On College Football. People get so mad when I say on a Tuesday it's almost Friday. We got Locked On College Football Kickoff live this and every Friday, 11 a.m. to noon, right here on Locked On Canes YouTube and every Locked On YouTube channel. Me, Kenton Gibbs, and Drake Toll take you through all the big games, all the big storylines, game picks, reactions. Been talking a lot about the Michigan sign-stealing stuff the last couple of weeks. Make sure you tune in to Locked On College Football Kickoff live. All right, so Bruce, in hearing what Mario Cristobal said yesterday, he was asked about the quarterback situation. He says, I appreciate the question, and I would respectfully say this. Just from a game planning standpoint and a team dynamic standpoint, I wouldn't use this forum to discuss a personnel move, especially at that position, because it affects so many different things. What I would always say is that we're always competing at every position. That to me is a key. We're always competing at every position. We're always assessing, and we always make the decisions that give us the best chance to win. So again, respectfully, we kind of keep up everything regarding, personnel moves in-house, he said. Now, I get that he doesn't want to come out and name a quarterback starter, but Bruce, in weeks past, he has done that. He has had no problems in weeks past saying, even when he's not sometimes, like the Clemson game, right, Van Dyke is good to go. He's good to play. This time, he's leaving it open-ended. I think that gives me a strong clue that at least they're considering going in another direction this week.
Yeah, and I'll try to find out who's been taking the first team snaps, which is also an indication, because I said going into the Clemson game, that it was Emory Williams. So right. I knew that he was going to start.
Yeah.
Now, I'll find out, or unless you find out. But.
Well, there's already been rumors about that. And the thing is, I'm always pretty careful with that stuff because these practices are closed. So it's not like people are unless you're like sneaking up to the top floor of the parking garage and there is security up there to kick your ass out if you sneak up there.
Or you know somebody.
Or you know somebody, right? Which I think is Bruce's case. That there have been some rumors. I've even seen some rumors that that number 11 is getting some first team work this week, but you don't really know, Bruce, because I also remember hearing a rumor a couple weeks ago of somebody claiming Van Dyke wasn't ready to go against Virginia, and he did play that game. So I don't trust this stuff until you actually get to those warm-ups before the game starts.
So I'm not sure it matters, but it matters to me in terms of, as I said before, the future. I want to see this kid play now. He's played. He didn't get rattled against the defense like that. He played pretty well. He played within his own skill level. And they spoon-fed him. And because the running game was so good in the fourth quarter, we stayed in the game, we tied the game, and we won the game. I don't think that's going to happen against Florida State, but to me, the experience of it is going to make a big difference for him going forward. Just like the experiences, we've been down, three times, 10 points or more. We won all 3 games.
Right.
So this is an experience for him to grow up in a horrible environment up there. Let him learn. Van Dyke, that's enough already with him. Does he have more experience? Yes. Is he screwing up? Yes. I take him out of there. Let the kid play. Let him know he's the starter. Let Jacurri play on especially on the goal line stuff. But I'm somewhat excited about this. I'm not excited that we're going to win. I don't think so. You guys can call me Mr. Negative all you want. I've been negative here and there in the last 8 or 9 months. But am I wrong? I had reasons to have concerns for this team. But I'm excited to see this kid play. Then I'm excited for the Louisville game because I'm bringing Caesar back. We're going to the Gito's getting honored. I'm going to be with all those guys in the former players suite. I'll get to talk to them and get some more insight. But and then there's the issue of, are we losing recruits because of this?
Right.
And Mario got to make some big time decisions about what's going on here. And then we could talk about this whenever. Yeah. There's going to be kids that leave this team. And you don't want to lose good guys.
No. Yeah, and you need to be competitive this weekend because Florida State, they're doing it up big in their recruiting section. The game's in Tallahassee, of course. Mm-hmm. They're going to have more than 100 recruits there, Bruce, and a lot of these guys are committed to other schools. So they've got a ton of recruits. Obviously, Miami does the same thing when Florida State comes to town every other year, but you don't want to go up there and get humiliated. Like, you want to go. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see Miami win the game, but play competitive. Right. Hopefully, this rivalry game lives up to the billing. Here's what we're looking at with injuries this week, according to Mario Cristobal. Now, Miami saw both of their starting cornerbacks get banged up last week. The one for Daryl Porter looked worse. Mario said Jaden Davis is doing fine. He's perfect. Daryl Porter was a little bit off on Saturday, but we feel very optimistic about him. He looked pretty good today. Obviously, you'd love to see both of those guys play if possible. He says on the injury status of some other guys, Ray Joseph, he says, looked really good today. Yesterday, that is, we expect him to be a full go. Okay, so Ray, hopefully that's another guy, Bruce. We want them to use Ray more. He says Ajay Allen looks good today. Expect him to be a full go. And I believe Elijah Arroyo, we will see him later today, Monday. We feel optimistic he'll be full go as well. So really the only one that it sounds pretty iffy for is Daryl Porter. The others sound
his
like
injury looked pretty bad.
It did, yeah.
It looked pretty bad. I don't know how you can come back from that. And there's also rumors of the Florida State receivers being injured and might not play. I think they'll both play. I just do. Yeah. But we have nothing to lose this week. Let it go. Let the defense blitz off the corner. Do whatever you can.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be out there flat. I think we're going to play hard. And if we could move the ball, eat up the clock even, don't turn the ball over, which is what they did against Clemson, we have a shot. Keep it closer. Don't lose 45-3 or whatever the score was last year. Don't do that. But, we have to be able to control the clock, especially against them. You turn the ball over, they'll score in a minute. I think somewhat the pressure's off Miami a little bit now. They're a big underdog, and the defense has played really well. Just keep ratcheting it up. And anybody get hurt on the defense last week?
Well, just the corners. I don't remember anybody else getting hurt last week outside of the corners.
Just keep those D linemen fresh, and do what you got to do. But I would not. I think I'm expecting to see James Williams stay back a little bit and not be in that box because they can burn his ass in 2 seconds. I think the safety's got to stay back. Kind of do what other teams do to us. Keep the safeties back. Yeah. Keep Florida State underneath and don't get beat deep. That'll shorten the game. They could score in a second. They're that good.
When we come back, got to throw a shout out to the Hoops team, number 13. They should be ranked higher. They started their season with a win last night, which is always nice to see. And I want to talk NJIT, New Jersey Institute. That's up in your neck of the woods. You're a Jersey guy. Were you an NJIT fan growing up?
No. I wasn't even a Rutgers fan. I like Seton Hall because I used to go to all their games.
Okay. We'll talk a little bit about that, and I do want to talk a little bit more about the coaching on the football team to this point and some things that need tweaking. So you know what you want to do, man? We got the Truth Teller with us on a Truth Teller Tuesday. You want to keep it locked right here to Locked On Canes. My friends, buying last-minute tickets to sporting events should not be a stressful experience. In fact, I look forward to it because I wake up the morning of an event or the day before an event, and I know I'm going to get the best possible deals at Game Time. The Game Time app is a game changer, guys. Whether you're looking for sporting event tickets, concert tickets, comedy show tickets, musical theater. My wife used Game Time to see some show a couple of weeks ago. She let me off the hook. I didn't go. I stayed home and watched my kid. But I'm telling you guys, Game Time is the way to go. You shouldn't have to worry about buying tickets to the next big event. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of an event in your area. And on the Game Time app, you can see views from the seats all over the venue, exactly what you'll be looking at in terms of the field, the court, the stage. And the Game Time guarantee, that means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege. All one word, LOCKEDONCollege. You get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thank you so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen today. Guys, if you want to take your everydayer experience to the next level, sign up for Locked On Canes Insiders. We give you guys text messages directly from my phone to yours, breaking news, recruiting scoops, injury updates, one-on-one question and answers with me. We will do some Q&A episodes a little bit later on this week, so be ready for those. Check it out. I include the link in the show description below to sign up for Locked On Canes Insiders. Try it free for 14 days. Then if you like it, you can opt in for $4.99 a month. We give you a lot of added value on there. So, Bruce, we've been talking a lot this week, not only you and I today, but the last couple of days about Shannon Dawson and needing more creativity. I'm not rats off a ship on Dawson just yet because I do understand as a play caller, you get handcuffed and hamstrung when your quarterback is struggling this much. So my evaluation on Dawson is still a work in progress, right? I mean, things look so good before the ACC schedule started. Things have looked so bad since then. A lot of people wonder if Mario is micromanaging the game planning and play calling. I just think for me, I need to see some different looks at quarterback before I completely condemn the job that Dawson is doing. Do you agree, or should we be maybe more critical of Dawson?
I agree. I don't know if he's hamstrung or not by Mario. I haven't spoken to anybody about that, if they would even know the answer to that.
No, probably nobody knows. Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe Alonzo probably knows, and I'll see him next week, but he's not going to answer it for me right now. Look, I think that Tyler Van Dyke's play has just been so bad. I don't know if you brought in, I don't care who you bring in to be the offensive coordinator. It's going to be a problem. And forgetting about throwing interceptions, his checkdowns just started last week. You saw it. He did it a few times, but he should have been doing that for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
He's not really polished. I don't know what happened to him. So I think he's obviously the big problem, and it filters down, and Dawson can get the blame. I understand that. But I just want to bring up one other thing, if I can divert from this. We've talked about what players I'm going to bring on the show, former players. I think it might be fun, and I'm not even saying this to you off the air.
Yeah.
But if these guys want to see certain former players, just put it in your comments.
It's a good idea.
I like the idea. I didn't know if you would like it. But just tell me who you want me to bring on. And if I get a majority of asking for the same person, I'll do it. I'll get them.
I like that.
So let's do it that way instead of us surprising them. If you want people on the show that you want me to bring on as a guest, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I don't know most of them anyhow, but
yeah. And that's a great idea. So if you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a YouTube comment what former Miami player you'd like to see on the show, because Bruce knows pretty much everybody. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you can leave me a comment on X, formerly Twitter, at Locked On Canes. And if you follow the show at Locked On Canes, we will follow you back. Let us know which former player you would like to see on the show. And so as far as Mario goes, Bruce, I will, if he starts Van Dyke again and we see the same type of performance, I'm going to be pretty critical of that. if you do start Emory and Emory struggles, I'm not going to bash Mario for that because that's what I've wanted this week. So I will if Emory starts and struggles against Florida State, that's not on Mario to me. That's him doing what he had to do. But if he starts Van Dyke this week and you get another 3 interception game and the quarterback is shooting you in the foot, that to me is on Mario.
Yeah, I agree with that. Watch Van Dyke start and tear up Florida State, throw for 4 touchdowns. But that's
if that happens, I'm going to say, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah, we were all wrong. We were all wrong. But you know what? I don't think that's going to. I agree. As I said before, these last 3 games and the bowl game for Emory Williams is a foundation for him to build upon. Yeah. And they could work with him on his strengths and weaknesses in the offseason to get ready for next year, because we need to have this position locked in once the season is over, getting ready for next year. And I think psychologically for this kid, even if he gets destroyed on Saturday, it doesn't matter. It's a learning experience that he needs to have. He's already gotten his feet wet against Clemson, and look what happened. So I agree. I think that would be the smart thing. I expect us to play hard. Don't know if we're going to win. But I would like to see some other plays other than the runs up the middle and the off tackles and up the middle. And man, that's just Florida State's going to just jam that line of scrimmage. We got to get the ball outside somehow or other.
Yep, no doubt. All right, congratulations, by the way, to Jim Larranaga and Miami Hoops. I mean, honestly, I think this team being ranked 13th, I think is disrespect. They should be in the top 10 at the very least because they've got to
stay there. Let them stay there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let them sneak up on people.
I'm just saying it's a basketball school right now, Bruce. So I want if the football team is not earning respect, I think the basketball team should be getting the respect that they deserve. They scored. I know it's NJIT. I get it, but you always open the season against weaker competition. Miami scored 101 points, 101-60 that they won the game. That was the most points by a Miami team since 2007, 2008. When they scored 104 points against Florida Southern. I think that was a season opener or close to it that year. And Norchad Omier scored a career-high 21 points, 10 rebounds, double-double. I think the Hoops team's going to be really good this year, Bruce. Maybe we should put together some watch parties, head down to some games this year, get the people excited.
Hey, you create it. I'll be there. You set it up.
Love it.
Your show, man. I'm just a guest. I'm a guest. Oh, by the way, one lady, I forgot her name, made a really great comment. She said that.
Oh, was it Catherine on Facebook?
Catherine, the Truth Teller Tuesday is her favorite Locked On Canes. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I wrote her back. I responded. That was very nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. Make sure you follow Bruce on Facebook. Are you on? You're not on Twitter, are you?
No. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, but I don't really I don't ever post anything.
Okay, I got to look for you on there. I'm on.
I don't have any posts. I'm just there. I make comments.
Okay. All right, fair
like
enough.
I watch Below Deck and I comment some of the pretty women, that kind of stuff.
That's what Instagram is best for.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we will talk to everyone again next time. By the way, if you want to support the show, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button if you're watching us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you listen to the audio version, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, wherever you get your pods. Make sure you subscribe. And we will talk to you again next time. We'll have Brian Smith on tomorrow's show. So we'll talk some Florida State. We'll talk some recruiting. We will talk to you guys on Wednesday on another episode of Locked On Canes, part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.